There's a language family in Ghana. It's called Akan, the Akan family, which is, legend has it that it's sort of the original family that spoke this Akan language. But as they grew, as their population grew and things, they needed to sort of find new land and find new space to live. And so Ghana has a number of languages that branched off of the Akan, the original Akan language. So Chi is one of those branches, or Fanti. Fanti is another branch which they speak in Cape Coast, down in the south. But they're really close. So like if you have a Chi speaker and a Fanti speaker, they'll understand each other. Even though he'll speak Chi and he'll speak Fanti, they can have a conversation because they're relatively similar. They have the same root language. Even though they're pretty different to the ear, they can understand each other very well, especially fluently. Because I wasn't fluent in Chi, and so they sounded quite different to me, but to their ears, it was enough that they could communicate, which is really interesting. And there's other Akan languages like Bono and different things. They can all sort of understand each other. But Chi is the biggest Akan language, like the most population of speakers in Ghana. And they say that the Akans came out of the Senegal area, which is way west coast Africa, sort of by the Gambia over there. That there's a tribe over there that kind of came down the west coast, came into what is today Ghana, and they sort of settled there. And so that's the history. They don't know, African history isn't very well recorded. They have a really hard time keeping records, but that's like mouth to mouth, at least that's the legend behind it. But with Chi, it's a very simple language. It's written language too. I learned how to read it, but I didn't always know what I was saying because they use English letters, but there are certain letters that aren't included, and there are some letters that are excluded from English, and they just pronounce it differently. So like we say A, they say A. And we're B and they be. So A, B, C, D, E. It's very like E. Lots of E. And the two letters they have that we don't have is O and E. So O is like a backwards C. So there's O and then there's O. So that's how you pronounce it. Then there's E. And then there's which is like a backwards, it's kind of like a 3. Yeah, it's like rounded, around backwards. No, not even backwards 3, a normal 3. Yeah, and you pronounce it So they have a phrase etiseng, which is like, how are you? Etiseng, and that sound is the 3, the I don't know how to explain it, but like I said before, since missionaries weren't allowed to teach the Chi speakers who didn't speak English. And so very few missionaries learn it fluently because there's very little incentive. I mean, even if you learn it, we weren't allowed to teach in it. So even if you could speak it fluently, it was sort of against mission rules to teach in Chi if the person didn't speak English. And so a lot of missionaries wouldn't learn it fluently, but they would learn it enough to communicate with everybody. But the Ghanaians love it when you do speak their language. When you speak Chi to them, they feel a kinship towards the missionaries. It's easier to get in their houses. It's easier to talk to them. Even though Ghanaians are the friendliest people you'll meet on earth, really. Yeah. Even within Africa, people say Africans are friendly. Ghana's sort of the epitome of friendly Africa, the friendliest people. But then speaking their language just makes it that much better for them. And so I mentioned one is etiseng, which is how are you? And the response would be eye, which means like I'm fine. Or another response to that would be boko, which is like cool, I'm cool, everything's cool. Another common one is wodindiseng, which is what is your name? And the response would be Medinde Seth, or whatever. If you're an elder, my name was Elder Taylor, and you have to say it sort of in their accent, so it'd be Medinde Elder Taylor. So the ERs, they don't have they don't pronounce, they think it's really difficult, and so ER ends up sounding like an A, like an so it'd be Elder Taylor was my name. So Medinde Elder Taylor, my name's Elder Taylor. Woofrihin, it means, this sounds funny, huh? Woofrihin is like, where are you from? And you'd say Mifri US or Mifri Ghana, or wherever you're from. Yeye Nsempakafwo, it's we are missionaries. Yeye, we are, and then Nsempakafwo is missionaries. So we are missionaries. That's sometimes how we'd introduce ourselves to people. So yeah, that was just a couple phrases from Chi. Sounds kind of funny, and my accent sounds funny, I'm sure. But that's how they say it. A lot of Americans, when they go, they'll speak Chi but with like an American accent, and it just doesn't sound as authentic. So if you go and you try to learn their language, listen to them really closely and try to move your mouth the way they move their mouth, or try to sound the way that they sound. Because it's not just about saying the word, but saying it the way that they say it, and it becomes really meaningful to them.